What's up, y'all? Welcome to the DaddyGate Podcast. I am your host, Wheezy, with my buddy
Chansar. How's it going, man?
I'm good, my man. It's always an honor and a treat to have you.
Always a pleasure, dude. It's a hedonistic pleasure speaking to you most of the time.
Yeah, man. It's been a couple of weeks. A lot of things have happened and transpired in that short little time. A lot of big time stuff in the last week and a half, you know, if we want to get precise about things.
Well, a lot of small time stuff and a lot of big time stuff. A lot of drama and a lot of quite serious, potentially criminal, ongoing issues.
Oh, well, we had the landlord who had been making contact with us, you know, with you, Craig the Bloodhound, and myself. We have, and we discussed this when she was on live with me last week, that we had been in contact with her for over a month. I want to say a month and a half.
Easy.
And holy smokes, when we had her on the live stream, that was gigantic news, you know. A lot of the stuff that we talked about on that live stream, she had been talking to us privately, you know, in our little message group. But to have her come on and hear it from her mouth was amazing. And not only that, but last night we had CCTV clips, man.
Yeah, man. They were quite entertaining, especially with the music. DJ Mossy's track over the top of it.
DJ Mossy.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's quality. I need to send him some other clips because there's something else I think he would turn his magic to and make it sound amazing. So I'll send you that after.
Yeah, man. Send it to me. I'll get it to him, and DJ Mossy will take care of the rest.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, those clips, man. Allegedly, they appear to show, to me anyway, they appear to show somebody turning up with the equipment to commit a theft. It's not just a spur of the moment theft, you know, like you've just stolen a chair from a pub or something like that. It's actually turning up with a van, going into a property that isn't yours, removing property that isn't yours from that property, and then putting it into the van and leaving. That doesn't really happen by accident.
Premeditated, man.
Yeah, it's not like a spur of the moment, like, whoa, you know, let's have a bit of fun, let's grab this, you know. Not that I'm agreeing with theft or anything like that, but we all do stupid things. But this isn't a stupid thing. This is somebody turning up with a van.
Yeah, 100%. It's creepy when you have that in mind, and then especially when you remember the conversation with the landlord, everything she described, and you see the CCTV clippage with your own eyes. You know, it fills in a lot of the gaps that you may have had. You know what else? Just thinking back on that epic 6-hour live stream, Callie called in. I don't know if many people realize, but Callie called in at around the 3-hour and 43-minute mark. When she called in, there was a giant ass party going on. And it was late as hell across the pond. I want to talk about midnight because it was a 6-hour live stream. She called me, and it didn't show on the screen, but she called me with her video camera on, and you could see a shit ton of people in the background. She quickly turned the camera facing the ground, and she walked outside of the house because she knew it was not a good look to have a party going on after the landlord had been saying that fucking flat had been used as a party house the entire time. So to hear Callie call in and hear a party going on, it pretty much confirmed what the landlord was saying about it all. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Chrissy said the landlord was owed thousands of pounds in unpaid rent, and by duty, the way the British law works, they had to refund Callie about £1,250, and that would have just been shortly before all this came out. So it makes you wonder if that £1,250 was spent throwing this party, supplying this party, you know. I know if I got £1,250 into my pocket and I was a party person, I would know what I'd be doing with it, you know.
Hell yeah.
So realistically, if that person was a good person, in the sense that a person who wanted to do the right thing, for somebody that had been wronged by them. When Callie got that refund of that $12.50, she should have given it back to Chrissy. Legally, she had to receive that refund, but she should have given it to Chrissy and said, look, there's that money for all this ridiculous crap. Sorry, I know it's not $5,000, but there's the $12.50 at least. That's the least you can do, That's the way I've been brought up. But it looks as if Chrissy anyway, the partner of the landlord and the landlord have been turned into enemies in the mind of Callie, the way she's been coming on and what she's been saying to me seems like she's almost saying that Chrissy she's just a sucker that deserved to get screwed over out of several months' rent.
But how about Chrissy's response? I mean, to have her on for the short time, it was amazing. Some people give me crap because I kept calling it epic and historic and all that. I still mean it, man. It was gigantic to have her on. And
she's very brave.
Yeah, very brave. She shared her own courageous story of being a survivor and going through a lot of shit herself. And that's why she was able to snuff Callie out, like she did not view her as a savory character, and she smelled the bullshit a mile away.
That's what annoys me the most. She wanted to help her. Yeah. She thought, look, I'm not really buying this story here. Well, from what I could gather anyway, don't want to put words in her mouth too much, but she was saying, I'm not really buying Callie as this person who's got this job and blah, blah, blah. However, Sean Attwood's involved. He's obviously helping her out. Chrissy maybe saw a little bit of herself in Callie due to her own experiences before she knew what Callie was all about. Or before she knew what was going to take place in the property and all the rent arrears that were going to rack up, because a moral person doesn't allow rent arrears to rack up in such a deliberate and quick fashion. Rent arrears do happen to people by accident, but I'm sorry, but we know how much Callie charges, and the rent just wasn't paid from the quickest point that they could get away with not paying the rent appeared to be when the rent stopped getting paid.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And then, one interesting thing, and I may have brought it up last night, but when Chrissy got on, and, I was trying to be a neutral arbiter. I didn't want to be like 100% homer for Chrissy. I'm trying to be in the middle,
No, you're presenting it to an audience, so it's important to try and keep your biases to yourself.
Try to keep myself in check, even though I did admit later on, that, look, I believed Chrissy, but I was trying to come across as neutral. And Chrissy straight up said, shit, I don't have to be on your show. I got better shit to do than being on the show. And exactly. To me, I love that. I love that she put me in my place, but it just showed how real she was. And she's not trying to seek attention, man. She's just pissed off. She's pissed off at how her property was treated and the scams going on. That's what pissed her off. She's been
wronged, and again, she thought she wanted to help Callie, and I think it's just going to be a lesson learned for Chrissy. It's just, that won't happen again. Getting this letter, that letter did not come about by a mistake. The same with the van turning up at the property to remove the bed, if that was in any way linked to Chrissy's stories. This letter, again, if it's real, the letter from the firm, the consultancy firm, I'm sorry, but you don't hand over letters that are made up of almost from start to finish complete falsehoods in order to get access to someone else's property. That is, if that's true, they have obtained that property using false information. And I'm not a lawyer, but it doesn't sound like it would be a particularly good look in court if it got there, Yeah,
it's
just shocking to me that the deliberateness of that.
Yeah, how many years was that company had been dissolved for?
6 years, I think it had been dissolved for.
Yeah. That is insane, man. Mm-hmm. And this is, the activist, the London-based author,
And honestly, what a dumbass as well, because the fact that they put limited at the end of it, the fact that company name at the top of that letter had limited at the end of it, meant that there's no way out of it. They can't explain their way out of it because there's only one limited company by that name.
Yeah.
If they hadn't put limited at the end of it, that could have just been the name that the company was trading under. And you know what I mean? A different limited company was the actual company name that it was registered under. But no, they had to put limited at the end of it, making it completely impossible for them to explain their way out of it. And we haven't heard anything from Mr. Attwood, who's allegedly the person that handed this over to Chrissy and the landlord.
Well, he did say
We've not
that.
heard anything about this letter.
Well, yeah, he didn't talk about the letter on the statement, but he did give us a statement, remember? A statement that we're not going to read aloud word for word, even though we have it. But
It wasn't sent to us. If he wants to provide an official statement, as he put in, he actually said this is an official statement and you've got permission to read it out on the next live stream. First of all, we don't need permission to read out something that belongs to us. If you pass it to me, it's mine, you know?
No.
It's not confidential information. There's no confidential data on there.
We never had an
Second
agreement.
of all, if he wants to put an official statement out about allegations that have been made against him, he needs to just do that on his own channel. It's not, or on his own social media. You know, it's not for us to do. There was nothing in that statement that in any way explained the shortfall of the money. There was nothing that mentioned the letter that appeared to have been drafted. He did mention the theft. He said that theft was the wrong terminology. That's, you know, it's only fair to mention that. He said theft is the wrong terminology
Really?
for what took place. He said it should be rephrased.
Really? So we have the
I don't know whether...
No, I know, but we have the CCTV footage of people taking the kid's bed that was allegedly stolen. We see it in the damn CCTV footage. We see a clown with a flat screen tucked in between his armpits, but that's not theft?
I think Attwood's point was it should have been rephrased not to mention him, because he completely dropped Callie by the end of it. Remember, he said, she's got nothing to do with me. I have not had anything to do with Callie for months, which is disproven by the CCTV, because the date on that CCTV is January, is it not?
I believe
Which
so.
was not months ago.
Yeah, all the timestamps are on the video, and you know, this we're talking about weeks ago, not several months ago. All the CCTV footage was recent stuff.
A couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
which is also because Callie said she hadn't been in the property for months as well, didn't she?
Well,
Was that not her official?
yeah, she's
Her
been,
own official statement, if you can call it that, when she comes into live stream. She said she hasn't been in the property for months, but the timestamps on that CCTV, if that is indeed Callie, which it is alleged to be, although she says that her hair colour is a slightly different shade, she never called out anything else. She never said, I wasn't there, I didn't do that, that's nothing to do with me, that's not the property, I don't know anything about this. She just said, no, my hair's red, not purple.
yeah, it's funny, you know, when she was on the live stream saying that was not her because that woman had purple hair.
What a terrible excuse.
And here's the thing, Callie, you have sent me video or pictures of you and your horses, and you're wearing the same goddamn pink ass pants.
Yeah, and the fact that's almost an admission that is her then. If that's the only thing that she's saying, well, the hair's a different colour.
Oh my god.
She hasn't denied anything else about that. You know?
Yeah, it's damning. And, you know, the very fact that they went in there with that mission, you can say it's a mission, like we were talking about at the very beginning of this recording. It looks so premeditated. You know, when they come out with the TV, for example, or the mattress, I can't remember which clip exactly, but one of the guys in that raiding party, if you want to call it that, goes directly towards ahead of everyone, almost like a lookout, you know, trying to be a lookout, make sure no one's watching, and he walks right under the camera. And the funniest thing about it is these guys could have all wore COVID masks and it would have been perfectly acceptable, but they did it all maskless, just giving away their identities and
They
what.
didn't know that there was a camera on the outside, obviously, because the guy actually came out. I saw one of the guys came out, and it appeared that he was covering his face as he walked out.
Yeah.
And then he uncovered his face, not knowing there was a camera on the outside. And if you're going to do things like this, you should be pretty well aware that a lot of people have private CCTV now.
Yeah. No, that footage was absolute gold. And then, did you see the final clip that I got where I think it's in the back parking area. And
oh, yeah.
That one, it's hard to tell, and I don't know if it came across, but I was looking at it a little bit closer. And the title on that video that was sent to me anonymously just says strange deals, something along those lines. I can't remember exactly, but it's alleged that nefarious activities were going on. And what you see an individual walk up to the passenger side of the vehicle, hand some money, the money gets put in the pocket, then another person comes out and delivers a package and drives away. And it's hard to make out what's going on. I don't want to be making things up, but that's what you see in that footage, and it's
suspicious activity. If you're living in a nice place and you see things like that taking place, it is suspicious activity. It would make you raise an eyebrow if you saw a car pulling up at night, somebody going out, some kind of exchange apparently taking place, and then the car driving away shortly afterwards.
Yeah, like
when there's a party going on in the flat. It doesn't take a genius to figure things out, Yeah,
the clip is a minute, maybe a little over a minute and 30. And during that minute and 30, an exchange of money and a package gets dropped off. Then the car takes off again. I didn't see a pizza.
No, exactly.
So definitely makes your mind wander. And when you put it into the context to what the lovely Miss Chrissy had to say last week, it puts a shadow on many things. And does. And for Callie just to come out and say, oh, well, I don't have purple hair, I have red hair.
Yeah.
That's the best you could do.
Yeah. And she, Callie's mentioned once about having to move out, and she mentioned something about masked men coming into the property. But there was no mention of any of the fact that rent had gone unpaid. I mean, if Callie had been withholding rent for moral reasons, like she felt like she had a moral duty to withhold the rent because she'd been mistreated, she never mentioned anything like that prior to this coming out. They were not expecting this information to come out. That's probably because so many people that get victimized by other people, such as landlords who, for example, I'm not saying this is what's going on in this case, but a landlord who had a tenant move into their property who's reasonably high profile, or got somebody reasonably high profile in their crew, and they move into the property, and then it becomes evident that there was no intention to pay any rent beyond the minimum amount required to get into the property and stay in there, All they did was pay 2 months rent, wasn't it? So you could suspect that there was never any intention to pay more than that. You could genuinely suspect that. And if that's what's happened to Chrissy, for example, or somebody else in Chrissy's position, let's say, that's that person being victimized by somebody. That's what it looks like to me. And once you've got rid of the tenant from your property, after all that's gone on, after everything that's been mentioned's gone on, all the conversations that you have with your family, goes over Christmas and everything, there's, talking about all this, the fact that there's no money coming in from this property, which is probably an investment, and the money is required to, you expect it when you've got a tenant in there. A lot of people wouldn't want to come forward after that had happened to them. Yeah. You would feel like, well, that's it, I just want rid of them, and I'm going to move on from it, especially if there's somebody high profile involved with that person, or reasonably high profile involved with that person. So I do think Chris is very brave. Obviously, you have to be fair and say we don't actually know 100% fully the situation as to what is going on. However, what we know is damning, and the responses from Mr. Attwood and Callie are not in any way reassuring. You know, they don't seem to be the responses of people that expected this information to get out there. You know, Callie kind of came in a panic, didn't she, after it came out?
Oh, yeah. And, you know, I let her speak her part on, you know, on that 6-hour live podcast.
She was so upset with you, man.
3 hours.
You let her speak her part, but you kept it to your questions only. You didn't let her get her bullshit out.
Well, she was pissed. Yeah. She was furious, man. She was even sending me messages like you're fucked and this and that. And what did she say last night in the live stream?
So she was saying, well, in the live stream last night, she said, you better just wait and see what happens to Truthy's channel next month, which is quite a specific threat.
Yeah.
And we're used to this kind of threats, man. We've been getting these kind of things all the time. But yeah, Callie did say that. And
well, let me announce it
doesn't seem
now.
like
Callie is done from the live chats. Rest in peace, Callie, in the live chats. You have now been banned. Yeah, I didn't know she had said that. I just got word of that this morning, that she was talking all kinds of shit. I have been
threatening your channel, saying it's going to go down.
I have been friendly with her, been nice to her. I've been talking truth bombs. But if you're going to start talking shit about me when everyone had been shitting on her, and rightfully so, on her, and I was being nice to her, kind.
You've been nice to her, man.
Yeah.
I know. I've never spoken to Callie, but I mean, you've been nice to her, but she's fed quite a lot of information, you know, in this direction, hasn't she? I mean, she did leak
it, and I've been trying to be as fair as I can. You know, I'm not gonna kiss anyone's ass. I've been trying to be as fair, towing the line of fairness, and it's been rough. It hasn't been easy because there's a lot of lies involved, a lot of bullshit going on. And so I've been trying to toe that line with Callie from the very beginning.
Well, it might be time to bring this out. There was an email that came to yourself from Sean Attwood's inbox, and that email showed that there was a relationship going on between somebody that's been going after you quite a bit. I'm not going to name any names, but somebody that's been going after you and myself quite a bit. And that email showed that person was saying to Sean Attwood, just kind of pretty friendly, saying, you know, I've got no intention to bring you down, blah, blah, blah. Now, that email got leaked. Did that email not come from Callie? I'm pretty sure it did, didn't it?
It did.
And the person said, well, there's no way a real email like this is obviously a doctored email. There's no way an email like this could get out there, because why would Sean leak that email? Well, that email came from Callie.
Callie sent me the email.
It was not a doctored email.
First time I have ever disclosed it. That email.
And that's my fault. I disclosed it, but you know.
I don't care. Fuck it. It's out there. This person claiming doctored email said, there's no way in hell they could have got this email because it came from Sean's account.
Inbox.
I got it from Callie.
It was Callie that did that.
You goddamn clown. So, Callie had brought some information, and that's why I kept that relationship with her, man. But for her to show up last night and start making threats, watch for Truthy's channel next month, basically saying my channel is going to be gone, which I guess is a great segue to the whole copyright bullshit. You did a great video. You released it right before the live stream, which was awesome of you. And, there was a couple of clowns. There was one clown in particular that commented under your video, well, Truthy should fight his own battles. Why are you helping Truthy out? Blah, blah.
Yeah, I don't understand. The person said, I don't understand why you've made this video. And quite often you'll find that these comments begin with the words, I don't understand. And usually, then at that point that the person just doesn't understand. So if you don't understand, stop typing and delete your comment. But they said, I don't understand why you've even made this video. Why are you fighting Truthy's battles? Can he not fight his own battles?
Well,
it's not your battle,
clown, dude. I was
did you reply to it?
Yeah, I replied to him. I go, first of all, two friends, and I cherish you, dude. I love you like a brother, man.
Yeah, man.
You know this. I've told you this many fucking times in private. I go, two friends that truly care about each other. We stand up for each other, man.
Yes, exactly.
It's like you look at nature videos and you see one lion with like a bunch of females, and if two lions come by, that dude is gonna get jacked up, man, because those two brother lions are gonna F things up. And that's what me and you are, brother. And if someone attacks me, you're going to have my back. Someone attacks you, I'm going to have your back 100%. And so for this clown to say he don't understand why, that's why, because we're buddies, first of all.
Well, it's a misunderstanding of how friendship works for a start, isn't it? But 100%. It's far bigger than just Truthy's battle, you know?
Well, not only that, the other point missed, which, you know, again, he doesn't understand, so I guess we got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, he did open up truthfully, didn't he?
Yeah. This, one of those copyright strikes affected this channel.
Exactly right,
so
yes.
That ties us in all this together, regardless of everything else. So I hope you understand now, buddy. But yeah, man, I mean, to get 2 copyright strikes for 2 videos with, they're essentially the same, but with certain revisions, certain edits made.
Newer content as well, wasn't it? I think you added some newer stuff, you refreshed it, you updated it. There were 2 different videos.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
Similar but
different videos, different titles, different information in them.
Yup.
100% fair use. There's no doubt about it. It's impossible to deny that was fair use. And the fair use system is really all geared around not making people afraid to criticize others. It's trying not to stifle criticism. It's a great philosophy, you know. It's there to assist people in criticizing, so they don't feel afraid to criticize someone, so they can't just get slammed down for copyright because they've pointed out that there's some ridiculous shit going on. Check out this video that this guy made. How insane is this? That is fair use. That is allowed under the law.
Right.
And I thought we were past all this. I would have thought that Sean Attwood would have known this, and there is a slight possibility that he didn't know that and he's just struck it because of his misunderstanding of the rules, but I very much doubt that. He's got 650,000 subscribers. He knows how to run a YouTube channel. The guy isn't dumb when it comes to copyright law. He knows what he's doing. He thinks he can get away with it. He tried it once. You let it go. You weren't happy about it.
He knows damn well. Remember when he deleted his Ghislaine Maxwell
live stream after holding up the sign and saying, "Shush, be quiet, YouTube's listening."
Yep.
Ridiculous, man. Just an absolute breach of
so he
decency.
knows damn well if he did that and deleted the live stream right after, he knows what the hell's going on. I wrote him this long email, which, you know, obviously I let you know.
Yeah.
But one of the parts to that email was using a snippet of a song to discuss the underlying musical theory is fair use. Using part of a TV episode in a video discussing the overall plot of the show is fair use.
Mm-hmm.
Using part of a movie to critique the movie is fair use. Using part of you snorting quote unquote flour and then talking about it and criticizing it is fair use. Is there any question?
There's no question about it whatsoever. I had somebody on the comments saying that I was mistaken with the points that I put forward, but the points that I put forward don't come from me. The points that I put forward in my video aren't my opinion. It's based on the legal precedents that have been set.
Yeah.
When you strike somebody, you've already filed. You use the DMCA system. When you use that to actually take someone's channel down or video down, that's not YouTube agreeing with you. That's YouTube saying nobody would be stupid enough to file one of those legal documents if they didn't know what they were talking about. So our policy is that we just remove it straight away. The other person then has a right to defend it. You haven't defended it though yet, have you?
I gave it
Sean
until Tuesday.
Well, you know, that's fine. He can take it down then. You know, you've given him the option to take it down. If he doesn't accept that option, if he doesn't take that option to remove that, then if you file a counter notice through the DMCA system, he then has no choice but to file a full lawsuit against you in the US. And if he doesn't do that, he has to remove his strikes. That's just 2 options if you file that counter notice. So he better be ready to file a lawsuit. if he thinks that is not fair use, if he thinks that you have infringed his copyright, and he really does need to go and look into the rules.
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of clowns out there. You know, one of the clowns that we referred to earlier wrote a post today, actually, and it says, Truthy is going to take Sean to court if he doesn't remove the copyright strikes, and it will be world news. So come Tuesday, we'll know Truthy's ID because you can't sue anonymously. LOL, such a tool. And we know that this person is in continuous email communication with Sean. I mean, that right there.
Yeah, so how are they going to find out your name?
Yeah.
By asking him for it and getting it from him, you know? He's not allowed to give that information out. Yes, you have to use your real name to do this, but that's the way it works.
And I'm going
Sean can't give that out.
Yeah, I gave... Sean knows my first name. My first name. I will give my complete name if we need to move forward on Tuesday. Make no question about it. And so the reason I brought up this post from this other clown was so that there's no question. If the name gets out, one can only assume it's because of the close relationship that these two clowns have with each other. So I just wanted to put that out there. Put that out on the record.
Yeah, that would be very suspicious.
Yeah.
And it would be completely illegal and completely different part of the law, but it would be completely illegal for your name to get out. Yeah. You know?
And like we said at the very beginning, I did get proof of this close-knit relationship from these two from Cali. So
yes.
there's no question. This is all interconnected. This is why we're talking about it. It's all tied together.
That
and it's relevant.
Post was also was incorrect because you are not going to take Sean Attwood to court if he doesn't remove the strikes. You will defend the strikes. He has to take you to court that point. You know, so it's a complete... This person is misunderstood. And for them to joke about the fact that it would be worldwide news, this does turn into worldwide news. These issues do turn into worldwide news. That is a fact. Especially when someone's got 650,000 subscribers. That will be in the news. That is guaranteed to be in the news.
Well, when you fail your tryouts at BNT, you're going to be angry at everyone else. So.
Well, that's it. Lashing out... You know, your plan. You know, you got there in the end. It was what was wanted the whole time. Yeah. I believe that some people have been privy to information that suggests that this person was expecting to get a regular slot, and that didn't come through. But whether that's true or not, I don't know. But that's something that I've heard.
Oh, I have the proof of that.
Yeah. So.
And the proof says this is between you and I haven't said anything, but maybe time to bring these things out. So it's all in the narrative that I've been throwing out. But again, this whole, coming back to the whole copyright strike, Sean thinks that criticism towards him should result in censoring others. And
it shouldn't. And we wouldn't expect his criticism of someone else to be censored either.
Yeah.
It's not just one way. He needs to remove those strikes. Carry on, dude. I'm interrupting you.
No, you're good, man. This is flowing like water. No, I mean, I'm trying to segue this into a lovely friend of ours, Miss Hev, the Truth Seekers.
Oh, Hev. Shout out to Hev.
Shout out to her.
Big damage taken
she
this
had,
week.
over 36,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And her channel recently...
was bullshit.
Yeah, got shut down. And we're talking about it on the podcast, so I won't say the name, but Jay Epps. She was talking about Jay Epps, someone that Sean Attwood always talks about. He has made a name for himself talking about Jay Epps. And how the hell is it that he can go around building his channel,
strange, isn't it?
Making his career out of talking about Jay Epps, and then when Miss Hev talks about Jay Epps, her channel gets taken down?
Because Attwood doesn't talk about anything off the mainstream other than when he live streams the hearings.
Yeah. Well, what's kind of weird is, and I'm gonna go a little conspiratorial on you. When I think about how he's allowed to talk about Jay Epps on the tube, if you will, and Hev gets her channel deleted, and then you think about the picture where Sean is shaking hands with some of the royal family.
Prince Edward, yeah.
What? You have to scratch your head. What the hell's going on here? You know what I mean? And then not only that, when he filed that copyright strike against the DaddyGate channel, when was it, on Friday? He filed it. So I released the video early on Friday or Thursday, I think it was. In a few hours later, the video had got taken down. And to me, that just pretty much told me that he has a YouTube rep that he can go to. Boom. Shit gets taken down within hours. And I mean,
it's just strange because he's shaking hands with Prince Edward, right? But he goes so hard on Prince Andrew for something that actually mirrors quite heavily. Let's be honest here. Prince Andrew was getting slated for sleeping with a trafficked, vulnerable person. And it's quite similar to, the sort of things that Mr. Attwood is engaged in, allegedly, by his own admission. But he goes on about Prince Andrew so much. If he was, this is just where I can't figure out, if he was in with the royals, which I have heard people saying, he's in with the royals here and there, but if he was, why is he just slating Prince Andrew so much,
It could be similar to, my views on politics. It's all like wrestling. You gotta have someone talking shit so it looks real, but in reality, it's all good, baby.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
But I wouldn't want him talking shit about that, though, because that was causing a whole load of pressure on them. That was the biggest thing to hit the royal family for such a long time, probably since Diana died, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah. And it was something that they really did not, from what you could see anyway, from what we're privy to see, they really did not appear to like this happening.
Here's the thing, man. You and I, we know that Sean loves to say stuff that he himself is guilty of. Using the 48 laws, a lot of the shit he accuses us of, he's projection. He's the master of projection. And so, what's the things he's continuously said about you and I? That we are hired by black ops. That we are hired by these elite peds. And because we know the history that he loves to project, you do have to scratch your head on that. Wait a minute, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, why? Well, who thinks of elite pedos? When you're doing something, when the fuck does elite pedos come into your mind as something to say to somebody? Oh well, wait a second, elite pedos could be behind this. So why is it at the forefront of his mind? I'm not suggesting that he's an elite pedo or anything like that. I would never say something like that. But I do think that he tries to dog whistle to an audience who are of that mindset. My personal opinion of Sean Attwood is that he doesn't believe any of the things that he talks about. That's what I assume. He doesn't believe any of these things are real. I don't even think he believes that there's particularly many conspiracies ongoing. They're just really good for views, Yeah,
clickbait and whatnot.
Yeah, and he's in a position where he can, because he's got so many subscribers, he can really try out what works for views, and that's why he's left the prison stories behind, because probably he would only get maybe quite a lot. If you were a small channel talking about prison stories, you get a lot of views, but if you're a big channel, your views for that kind of thing are kind of capped, People that are interested in British prison stories, maybe you get 50,000 views, but that's not enough for somebody with 650,000 subscribers. He needs to talk about something that's got a worldwide kind of interest, and it's why you see a lot of his audience members in the comments do appear to be quite far gone when it comes to the conspiratorial mindset. But that's just my opinion looking in, of course.
I'm a little deeper when it comes to that as well, but not too far down that hole myself. But that kind of reminds me of, we were just hinting on the YouTube rep and whatnot. It's been weird, when we first started, when you and I first met and we were making Attwood videos, our videos, which whenever you typed Sean Attwood into the YouTube search engine, my videos and your videos, even though we had tiny ass little single digit subscribers, were showing up. And now when you put in Sean Attwood, even exposed or any of these other terms, our videos, you need to go down several pages just to find our videos, even though we have tenfold the subscribers these days. something's going on, something nefarious is going on, and your video that you launched, what was it, about a week ago, regarding the whole, and let's put it
Tuesday last week, and there was something that went on YouTube on Tuesday last week that actually caused a lot of people to notice that their views had gone down by up to 80% for videos that were dropped on that day, and it was specific kinds of channels. There was a channel creator guy called The Quartering who does video games and that kind of stuff, that kind of content, and politics as well. And he made a video, he's got over 1 million subscribers, and he made a video saying what is going on with this, basically pointing out that his views had more than halved. And then if you went through the comments on that, there was so many different channels saying that I'm getting 15% of my views, blah blah blah, and all this stuff, on that day. So I think it was an algorithmic tweak though, rather than anything related to Mr. Attwood. But it was the same day that Hev Truthseeker's channel went down as well.
Yeah, a lot of weird shit happened that day.
Yeah.
And your video, you did a great video, showing that document about that 6-year defunct company and whatnot. Great analysis, as always, as you do. Congratulations on your 9K subscribers, by the way. But
congratulations on your 3K subscribers, dude. Fucking hell, you just hit 3, man.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Humbling. We'll
That's amazing, dude.
But,
thank you.
Yeah, dude. No, deservedly so. The thing is, your video was well done, as usual, as you do these days, and yet people weren't getting notifications, and it did not get your usual performance, even though it was probably one of your more well done videos. You know what I mean?
It didn't actually show up in my list of recent uploads.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Something weird is going on, and again, not to get too conspiratorial, but what the hell? Why are our videos getting suppressed? And when you put in Sean Attwood, nothing but his material comes up, and it's almost like you have to try and look for it. Our videos to try to find these.
It's all about money at the end of the day. Sean Attwood he's still monetized. Some of his videos still have ads, so he must make good money for YouTube.
Yeah.
So if we're poking at someone that makes good money for YouTube, it's quite possible that he's been able to email them and say, I don't think this is what's going on, but I'm saying it is possible that he's able to email them and say, these two dickheads keep fucking poking me. Can you please, But I actually don't think that YouTube,
possible,
out
man.
of all the social media platforms, YouTube is the one which is the most supportive of free speech, believe it or not. It's insane, but YouTube is actually the most supportive of free speech out of any of the social media platforms, and I look at YouTube as a social media platform. Yeah. But Twitter is ridiculously immoral when it comes to its behaviour. Facebook is trying to find its feet, but it's also extremely censorious of certain viewpoints, whereas if you go onto YouTube, when you're monetizing your own stuff, they now make you monetize. You select the options as to whether you fit into any one of these categories here and there. And, a lot of the options are, you'll be monetized. Even if you say the word fuck, you'll be monetized on YouTube. They allow you to say the word fuck. It's written to their, how many, basically it says, do you say fuck within the intro, and then you won't get monetized. But if you say fuck outside the first 30 seconds, you'll get monetized. It even lets you say pure, hard racial slurs as well and get limited ads. So it doesn't demonetize you for that, So it doesn't delete you either for that either, So YouTube is not censorious as such, but they are quite money focused, obviously, being a business.
When it comes to that kind of stuff, that's why I still like the whole podcast, on Spotify or iHeartRadio, and this podcast is on there. So if you are already currently listening to the What Is Truth podcast, make sure you also follow the DaddyGate Podcast on those platforms. Those platforms are still somewhat the Wild West. If you are yourself into conspiracies and whatnot, you will find many awesome podcasts on conspiracies on those platforms.
That's why it's shocking that Hev got deleted, because she only ever expressed her opinions. You know, she wasn't
that's the thing.
telling people what to believe.
When she came on the live stream last night, and that's what I told her. I go, look, you and I have, especially when it comes to politics, political ideologies, we are worlds apart. Worlds apart. However, I am not cool with you being censored. I will never be cool with people being censored at all, because even if you don't agree with them, if you have to talk things out, you have to have the controversial discussions. That's how you, if you think someone has a bad idea, that's how you fix that. You don't fix it by shutting them down and saying, no, this is the only way to think. It's just like George Orwell's 1984, the double think bullshit and everything like that. It's all ridiculous to quiet someone's voice just because you don't agree with it. That is never the answer. And, even though, like I said, politically we're worlds apart, but it's scary. And if they come for her and the people laughing, the people right now that are listening and laughing, good. She was too far out there that way. Good. I'm glad she got shut down. The next people they're coming after is you. So that's what people need to understand. If we all need to stick together, because the next people that are going to get shut down are those people laughing at folks like him.
Yeah, but they let their dislike get in the way. It's like, oh, I dislike this person for whatever reason.
Yeah, look what happened with Alex Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
and
David
now
Icke.
Alex Jones is now becoming the voice of reason in many ways, He actually started calming down things with the whole QAnon stuff, that people obviously call it conspiracy. And
I never bought into that.
Partially seems to be, I don't know too much, but it seems to be involved in the Capitol riot or whatever you would call it.
Yeah.
The QAnon seemed to be quite a force for some of the people that were involved in that, and some of the more high-profile people that were involved in that. But Alex Jones denounced it completely.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, there was a lot of people that bought into the QAnon stuff, and I've been making memes about it. I never bought into it. And if you're listening,
making memes is a terrorist act now, dude. And, well, in this country anyway, you're not allowed to make memes. Literally, if you just make memes, you can be arrested for terrorism in the UK.
Yeah, it's scary times, 100%. You just don't know what you can talk about. Even on my podcast, on my channel, during the live streams, people want to talk about certain subjects, and I don't want to be rude with them, but I'm like, I don't really want to go there. It's not that I don't want to go there. It's just me trying to conform with what's good with YouTube and what's not.
When they can delete your channel, it's not so much about being demonetized or something like that. It's about the fact that they delete and suppress your channel and suppress your voice. It's a social media platform. You're supposed to be allowed to have, if you've got a platform, you're supposed to be allowed to put your voice out there. It's supposed to work naturally. It's almost as if they started taking a political viewpoint almost. But I don't know what politics YouTube has. It's actually quite difficult to figure out. Obviously, people would say they're left wing.
Big tech ideology.
But YouTube allows right wing voices. It does not delete right wing voices. Just because they're right wing, but I don't know where they're coming, especially with the Hev Truth Seeker thing. I know that Hev is more on the right when it comes to politics, or at least that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
People saying about Hev.
Well, when I had her,
I'm perfectly fine with.
When I had her on, dude, I told her, look, that's true, and that happens probably most of the time. But I had a channel where I was hardcore left. Atheist-leaning comedy YouTube channel, funny ass videos, trashing religion, and I got deleted.
Trashing religion doesn't make you left, though.
What's that?
Makes you not conservative, I suppose, but it doesn't make you left, Well,
and I was also making fun of Trump and shit.
You never ever make fun of Trump.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened to Trump? I'm only joking, brother. But what the fuck happened to that man? Where did the news go? The news has died. Yeah, Trump's gone and the news is gone.
Yeah, it's hilarious, man. That's why that was one of my shticks when it came to politics. Is how we're like, the media hates Trump. That's why Trump is an outsider. Bullshit. The media love Trump, man. They made a killing.
Did.
Who are they going to talk about now? They're not gonna talk about Joe Biden. He's boring as fuck.
Trump was the system working, dude.
Yeah, man.
Trump was the system working.
QAnon theory,
like him or not,
the QAnon failed theory proved that it was.
Everybody is supposed to have a chance. Every citizen is supposed to have a chance to become the president if they're over a certain 35, is it? And that is supposed to be how it works. That's how it worked back in the old days of America. And Trump went and did it, much to some people's unhappiness. But now we've got Joe Biden back in, and unfortunately, I think Joe Biden is obviously just part of the, let's say, big politics, not big tech, big politic,
It's all the same fucking gang, though, man. I mean,
well,
did you hear about Trump's attorneys? His little team all quit on him.
I didn't hear that. I heard he's sacked. It depends what you're looking at, man. I heard he changed his legal team.
No, they all fucking quit, possibly, bro. Yeah. They all quit.
But would they quit though, man? If he's paying them?
Oh man,
are they quitting out of moral? Are you telling me that attorneys are now morally?
No, it's not. It's not about morality, bro. It's not about morality. It's about your preserving your fucking image.
Your reputation. Well, what does he need attorneys for now anyway? He's out of there, dude. And did you see that Biden? He's not giving Trump, and this is totally the choice of the president, but he's not giving Trump Secret Service briefings. So he's not allowed intelligence briefings now, and it's the first time that's happened to an ex-president. Apparently, now that's fine. That's entirely up to Biden.
It's all wrestling, bro. It's just...
opinion if he wants to. But is Trump going to get the defense of the Secret Service? Because I would say that he is certainly the most at-risk president or ex-president of certainly any in the last many years.
He'll be all right. It's all political theater, man. It's all these little fucking snippets. It's all bullshit. They're all.
The media's got nothing to talk about, though. That's why they've got to talk about these things,
Well, that's the thing, when you had Trump being bombastic, saying this and that, shit was going on behind the scenes. The wars in Yemen continued. The relationship with Saudi Arabia continued. It did not diminish by any means.
What's going on in China, man?
Yeah. There's all this shit going on. So it doesn't matter if you have a bombastic, loud-ass president like Trump, or if you have a boring-ass, dying-out Biden as president. This shit continues. It just goes on.
Trump was a troll. He was just a troll, and unfortunately, when you troll people, they get annoyed. And that's what he did. He could have probably not trolled as hard as he did, and he would have probably got on a bit better.
I think it's bigger than that, dude. It could have all been by design, man. I mean, come on, man. This dude was a fucking reality TV star, and he had a Trump University, a proven
that's
Ponzi
America
scheme
for you, man.
Proven
that's America.
Ponzi scheme, dude. He paid $25 million to settle that.
That is the way your system is supposed to work. Kanye West. Oh yeah, man. I mean, the Trump University stuff, that's a whole different thing, man. That's bullshit if that's what happened, man.
But that's exactly what happened, dude. It's all public record, man.
But the fact that he got in and he's a reality TV star, that is the future of American politics. Although they're trying to close all the gaps now. They're trying to stop it. But Kanye West running and stuff like that, man.
But that's or The Rock. The Rock is seriously
it's designed so that, and especially in America where the whole world's media is American media. Everyone in the world from every country knows what an American accent sounds like because the majority of their media and their television shows have that presentation. It's American. America's like the king of entertainment. So it's only guaranteed that entertainers are going to get in to power.
The thing is, as a kid, I always thought the president was a supreme leader and whatnot. And then now my views on it all is they're all puppets. It doesn't matter if it's Obama, it doesn't matter if it's Trump, or it doesn't matter if it's now Biden. They're all puppets. And the thing is, when we know, this is a fact, this is not a conspiracy theory, we know that the U.S. installs many puppet leaders throughout the world, especially in Latin America. If there's a leader somewhere in Latin America that they don't like, that leader will get taken out, and they'll install someone that will be a puppet to our needs and whatnot. And so we know that happens. That is not a theory. This is exactly what happens. It has been admitted by the CIA and whatnot. So, is it really far-fetched to think that even our own American leader isn't a puppet himself? If we do that to other countries, is that really far-fetched to think that? I think not. There are other...
No, they're puppets to their advisors.
Yeah, man.
And who the hell are the advisors to the US president? There shouldn't be an advisor, but then you get into is he a dictator then if there's nobody balancing things out?
It's, see, that's what gets a lot of conspiracy people, made fun of a lot of people because, we're always speaking in they run the show, they. And then when other people that don't believe in that stuff, they go, well, who's they? And that's when a lot of people don't have a general answer for that. When I mean by they, I think it's all these players, whether it's big tech, big oil, big pharma, especially during these times. All these players are they.
Financial interests.
Yes, they are the
advertising
ones that run this bitch. And there's a great documentary by James Corbett on YouTube, and it's called How Big Oil Took Over the World or something like that. I'll message you the link to that video. It's about an hour and a half documentary. Holy shit. When you see the Rockefellers, over 150 years making their monopolies then, and you see all these players and how they have transformed the United States in the last 150 years, it is groundbreaking. And when did that shit go away? You think it just went away on its own? No, it has continued.
Money's the root of all evil, but it's also the root of all progress. You just got to make peace with that fact, Yeah. It's like money is the root of all evil.
It's always been like that, man.
Almost guaranteed. Money and sex, actually.
Yeah.
If you want to go down that way, and other vices.
Well, Cali was, essentially just practicing one of the oldest professions in the world. At the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean that's not evil. That's not evil. But the desires of people can twist them into slavery and things like that. That need to control other people. Slavery comes from that. Fuck, I'm not working myself. I'm going to make these people work and use violence to do it. That kind of thing. Like, okay, so that's not quite just money. Excuse me, I'm dropping my things here. Money is the root of all evil, though. Let's just stick with that. But it's also the root of all progress. Yeah. I mean, do you think we've gone backwards?
Sword, man. Double-edged
we haven't gone backwards. America is when you look at the competitor, you look at China, for example, right? People say we can't let China get bigger than America. We can't let China get more powerful, more financially powerful than America. Why not?
Yeah.
Why can't we allow China to get more powerful than America? And I'm against that concept of China getting more powerful than America, but why?
I think they're all in it, man. At the end of the day, it's just like 1984. Remember in the book, you had the three land masses. Those were the three nations in that book, the key players. And they would have wars against each other. But at the end of the day, if you paid attention to the book, all three were in cahoots. It was all a wrestling match. But they always had to portray the other one as the enemy. They always had a perpetual enemy that they were against. And right now, what is it? It's pretty much the alliances are, you got the US and the West, and then you have Russia.
You use Russia as the enemy,
yeah,
but I mean,
China.
Russia is an ally of the West. It's ridiculous to suggest otherwise. Yeah. It's just that Russia's politics at home are shady as shit. They do enjoy their poisonings. Well,
that's the thing, man. When I hear Americans criticize the Russians and Vladimir Putin, and with it, by every right, he's a bad dude. But to think that we are free from sin and we're not doing the same shit, I'm sure Russia would step in and fight on our side if there was some sort of world war. I honestly think that, and it's happened before. Yeah, it's all, again, I say this all the time, so I'm sorry if I bore people with this, but it's all a wrestling match, man. I know it sounds far-fetched when you don't have any context, but when you take all things considered, you're gonna have your villains, you're gonna have your good guys, just like any movie you watch. It's always a
But
happy
nobody
ending.
nobody thinks of the good. Like, no one thinks of the good guys. Like, America is a good guy, and China, if you look at it from the point of view as they've lifted so many people out of poverty, is a good guy in their own territory.
They're all good guys. Even Russia's a good guy, in their own right. It's just
in their own
depends
way.
on what side you're
The
on.
standard of human living is so high now. Why don't people focus on that? Just focus on your own. Just be a selfish bastard like me, basically, and just say, my God, I'm so comfortable. We live like kings compared to kings not 10 years ago, a century ago, or 2 centuries ago, We've got access to gold and jewels and food and, you know what I mean? Like,
again, like you brought up just a few minutes ago, man, at what cost? I often think about that, like I love to talk about the Native American ancestors and whatnot. And it's easy to focus on, well, when the invasion happened, a lot of them got killed off due to diseases and shit like that. And some people will say, well, look, now you have civilization, now you have technology, and blah, 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 and all this that you have, you wouldn't be here today if it wasn't because of that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I understand that 100%. At the same time, we also wouldn't have pollution, landfills like we do. We would be living more organically. So you can look at anything and take any side, and break it down to whatever narrative you want to find. So I agree with you that money.
I love doing that, man. It's like the war in Syria. The air over Syria is the cleanest air on Earth, apart from Antarctica or something like that, because of the war has absolutely flattened all pollution.
That's crazy.
Like the war, the pollution of war is so small compared to the pollution of society.
What we do, as humans on a regular basis. Yeah, man. And these are the nuances, man. See, there we go, man. Moving forward, these are the kind of conversations we'll have, and I guess it's a good segue to wrap it up because we're already just a little bit over an hour. Chancellor, where can people find you?
Best place to find me at the moment, I would say, is Twitter. So twitter.com/ChancerMedia. That's a good place to go if you want to send vague threats and things like that.
Yeah.
And obviously youtube.com/Chancer for videos. And we'll put some links down in the description as well.
Yeah. And you can find me. I don't make too many videos. Chancer is the exquisite video making machine. I just do live streams where we talk shit, and if you want to call in, I would love to have new callers all the time. And if you're a regular, much love to y'all. You guys make the show, and we have a lot of fun, a lot of great times. And the link to my channel will be in the description as well. It's essentially /What is Truth, the podcast. Follow it, long as hell, but just click the link and it'll take you there. And we pretty much have wrapped up the whole GoFundMe bullshit. We still have part 2 with the landlord coming up, but we're wrapping this down. We're winding it down. So some people will say, what are you guys gonna do after all this? There's plenty to do, and as you guys just sampled, we can talk. We are very versatile when it comes to world politics.
We don't know what the hell we're talking about, but we'll talk about it.
We'll just talk some shit and have a good time.
Just the same as anyone.
Before we got on recording, we were talking about some goddamn aliens and UFOs. So we can even go down those rabbit holes.
And exoplanets, dude. Exoplanets is where it's at, man. I can't wait till we can actually start seeing those, actually photographing them, because we know they're there, we know what they're made of, we know how much they weigh. How unbelievable is that? We can actually weigh a planet that we cannot photograph. But we haven't yet got photos of them, and I just can't wait for the photographs of some of these exoplanets are looking really interesting just now. I'm not saying they're going to have life on them, but I just want to see what the hell they look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exciting times, especially with the governments now, quote unquote, being open to releasing declassified information on the subject, and actually, being a little bit more open in regards to speaking about it. Because for the longest time, it was just weather balloons. Oh my God. You're crazy. And now they're being more open to it all, and it's exciting times.
It really is, but I still think we were born too late, dude. No, too early. Yeah. And like these photographs and all this stuff is going to come maybe 100 years after we're all out of here, every single person listening to this, every single person you see on TV, every single politician, all of us will be gone in 100 years. And it's only then that this kind of information will start getting seen. I don't know, man. We'll see. It'd be amazing if the telescopes are getting really, really crazy just now. So I can only pray that by the time I'm 95, we can actually see these photos. It would make my life if we did, honestly.
Hey guys, I'm gonna call my buddy Chancellor. This is Wheezy. I'm 95
I'll be blackened by the time.
Chancey Poo, where are you, brother? Where are you?
Instant travel across the other side of the world anyway, then, dude. So we can just pop over. You probably have one of those telescopes built into your phone as well.
Yeah. Sorry, man. That was my old man voice when we're old and talking shit. Still doing the podcast.
What's his name? Is it what's his name from Family Guy?
Oh,
Herbert.
Pervert the pervert. Hey guys.
That's the one. Yes.
No, man. So there you go. We're knuckleheads. We like to have a lot of fun, talk a lot of shit. And moving forward, we have tons of content. So if you guys enjoy the chemistry and you want to smash that motherfucking subscribe button, please do it. And we will definitely be putting out more content where we'll be fighting those strikes. And we'll continue to be talking shit. Isn't that right, my buddy?
100%, dude.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we will catch you on the next one.
Take care, folks.